with Ming.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is what happens when they try to shut down a border between the U.S. and Canada. We can't be stopped. My name is Ming Chen. I'm here with
Blake Northcott.
yes.
Hey, everybody.
I'm in New Jersey. Blake is near the Toronto area. She is freezing her Timbits off. I'm just fine here, but we're here to bring you the best in whatever's on our minds, really. But usually it skews in the realm of pop culture and movies and comic books, definitely, because
Exactly.
Blake is a professional comic book writer
And novelist.
novelist,
Also screenwriter. I'm getting into everything.
yes, and mother, and most importantly, my friend. So
that's right.
Yeah, so,
Ming is the best. I am
Yeah.
freezing my Timbits off here today. I love that.
Did you
it's
really
so cold.
say? Tell me about this morning.
Yeah, I went to take the kids to school, and the car was covered in so much frost. The door was shut, like iced shut. So I had to crawl through on the passenger side and like push the door open to get in. It was ridiculous. Why are we living like this? I don't know.
Well, because Canada is an awesome country. That's why.
It is an awesome trip. I'll give you that. It's awesome. I love it. I don't actually mind the cold. I'd prefer to be in the cold over extreme heat. So I'm not going to complain about that. But it did take me about an extra 15 minutes to de-ice the car today. So.
Right. Like, what do you do about a stuck door? Do you carry a blowtorch with you, like in Aliens? You know, you cut through the doors. There's nothing you can do, right? Except go try out the other doors, and then like you're crawling through things.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. If the neighbors saw me, like, it's so funny. I'm like crawling through. I'm getting my kid. I'm like, go in there, push the door, and I get the de-icing. What do you call it? It's like a de-icing thing that you have to like chip away. I have those. I don't know what it's called. De-icer.
I just can't imagine it. Right now it's checking. It's 37 snoogans. 37 degrees here. Not quite snow yet. There's sun out, so I'm fine here. We haven't seen a fleck of snow here. But
Wow.
I look up where you are, and it looks like the north of Winterfell.
Yep.
It looks like you're guarding the wall. You're looking for White Walkers up there, and they're like,
it really, for sure.
So
it's true, and it depends on the day. I think we're getting more snow later this week. So right now it's just freezing cold. Like you said, I'm freezing my Timbits off and still enjoying life, though. It's all good.
Yeah, it's got to help for writing, right? You stay inside, you drink too much coffee.
Yep, too much coffee, stay warm, get cozy. And yeah, so other than that, I mean, everything is going great. And did you have a good weekend? How was your weekend?
It was busy. I was here in the studio as usual. I ate a pizza.
Ooh.
I drank some wine. It was good. So we have this studio here, and then we're opening up another one about 20 minutes north of here, in a pretty badass. It's this huge 2 million square foot building called Bellworks.
Wow.
And when you walk in, it reminds me of like Escher or the Bradbury building from Blade Runner. So it's a very sci-fi looking building. And I've been chilling out in there. I this probably doesn't matter to anybody. Like, I don't build things. I'm not a tool guy. I'm not like Home Improvement. I can plug things in. I can drill a hole, I guess, and that's about the extent of my knowledge. But I was at the hardware store, and I saw this 42-inch workbench. And
wow.
It had 9 drawers, and I looked at it, and I was like, hey, man, I should pick this up for the studio. I could store like cables in there and microphones, headphones, and there was a Black Friday special. It was $250 US. I was like, holy crap! So I bought it, and I was like, how am I gonna fit this in my car? There was no way. I drive like a little orange hatchback, which you may have seen on in Comic Book Men. So I had to call my wife. I was like, can you bring the minivan down here? I need help with this 170-pound thing. But this thing is beautiful. Like, I want to build things now.
Good.
Yeah. I want
I
to
can't
kill
wait to
things.
see it. I've heard you've mentioned it before. How
I'll
it's
send
going
you.
to.
I'll send you a
Yeah, I
photo.
can see it. Do it. I can't wait to
Yes.
see it. It's gonna be amazing.
Yes. How was your weekend? Do you write during the weekends? I mean, do you just write when inspiration strikes you, including the
I wish
weekends?
I wish it was that easy. When my kids are home, I really during the day I'm just more of like a mom. During the day I
Yeah.
have to do my regular stuff. I actually made a beef bourguignon French stew, which took me 2.5 hours to cook it, and it made one meal for everybody, and then it was gone. And I'm like, okay, was that worth it? I'm kind of like, I don't know if that was worth the effort. I hope they enjoyed it. So, but I do write more after they go to bed or during the week, I would say, when I get more quiet time.
That's cool. What are you working anything fun right now that you can talk
Oh,
about?
I'm always working on fun
I
stuff.
know.
Um, it's definitely interesting because I'm contributing to Heavy Metal, which I told you before, the Heavy Metal magazine, with
Yep.
an
Shout
ongoing.
out.
Yes, shout out to Heavy Metal for my ongoing series, Synapse, and it's a cyberpunk dystopian series, which is so fun. And it's being drawn by this incredible artist named Giuseppe Cafaro. He's Italian, and colored by Brian Alvarez, and it looks amazing. But I've also been really excited to start working almost exclusively on screenwriting. And that is my focus going forward. And I can't really talk about a ton about the projects yet, but some of the things I'm working on are my own IPs. And I'll just leave it at that.
Well, my friend, that's where the money is at. So,
Oh, well,
from,
I mean,
from, from what I hear, anyways, even, well, I mean, I worked with Kevin.
yes,
Most of the rights to his movies they got picked up by their distributors, but that guy is smart. And for anybody writing their own intellectual properties, maybe you're working on your own movie, which may become big one day. So Kevin, sold the rights to Clerks to Miramax, and
right.
rightfully so. They're like, we'll distribute this, and you might become famous. But he was like, all right, I got one condition. These two characters, Jay and Silent Bob, I keep those. Those are mine. You can't touch those. I'm going
Nice.
to return the rights to those. And thank God he did that because,
Yeah.
that definitely worked out. So,
He is
um,
smart.
yeah. So even, if you have a couple weird stoner characters in your movies that might become big someday and you can merchandise the hell out of them and create off of them, keep those ones for yourself.
Learn,
Fight for those.
learn.
Yeah.
Exactly. I'll learn from Kevin Smith for sure. Incredible. But
Yeah.
yeah, no, that's the dream, man. So I'm working on that and also moving maybe into other markets. We'll see. I have some exciting announcements coming for 2021. So I'll keep you informed of all of that going forward. But I did want to talk about something that's similar to this topic. I
Ooh.
really feel like we have to dig into this. As soon as I heard this announcement, I was like, this is what we're going to talk about on the podcast.
Okay, hit me with it.
Here we go. So I really want to talk about this announcement about what's happening with the movie theaters, with Wonder Woman and HBO Max, because this might be one of the biggest developments in 2020, but maybe like ever for entertainment.
Yeah, this is crazy, and this was at the top of my list as well, my friend. Look at how we think. Even though these foreign borders are between us,
they cannot.
We think the same.
Exactly.
So, yes, what are your thoughts? Do you want to recap for anybody who might not know?
So basically HBO Max just announced that they're going to be releasing a whole slate of their upcoming movies on both the streaming service and in theaters. So before we get into this, I just want to say a quick kind of intro that I want to say this is absolutely, devastating news for theater owners and the employees who work there to be losing, so many jobs during COVID and now right before the holidays. It's so hard on a lot of people, and I just want everyone to know we're thinking about them as well as we kind of talk about what this means for the state of movies and entertainment going forward. I'm acknowledging that our hearts are kind of breaking for them as well.
Yeah, as great as progress is, it doesn't come without a price. And
right.
Unfortunately, that price looks like a lot of theaters and in turn a lot of jobs, and
right.
That stinks. And
so the movies too that are on this lineup are huge. I don't know if you have the list there, but I was doing some research and just quickly looked and saw, okay, so Dune, the huge,
Yeah.
multi-million-dollar one with Jason Momoa is going to be on the list. Suicide Squad with James Gunn coming out with, John Cena's in that.
Yep.
Godzilla versus Kong, I
Yeah.
think. And The Matrix 4, Space Jam. I mean, the list goes on. It's just crazy.
Yeah, and I had no idea this was coming up, but there's a live action slash and live, like kind of like a Roger Rabbit animated hybrid of Tom and Jerry.
Which sounds kind of fun, actually.
I love those two. I mean, as long, I guess it's 2021. Maybe they're going to tone down the violence, I guess, but which I hope they don't. Like, I would love to see a rated, I guess a PG-13 Tom and Jerry, which probably isn't going to happen. If it got rated R, it'd basically be itchy and scratchy. But I love seeing that cat and mouse murder each other and then live to tell another tale. And then the Many Saints in Newark for any Sopranos fans out there. Also coming to HBO Max. And I'm in Jersey, so it's a requirement. If you live in New Jersey, you have to watch that movie, or else you get whacked. So yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't. How do you feel about all this? Despite I don't want to say despite, but all the jobs are going to go, and I see a lot of theaters probably closing because of this. There's no way they're going to be able to be what they were before. But as a movie fan, though, as a screenwriter, how do you feel about this?
Okay, so I have a lot to say about this. But basically, I'm going to sort of focus on the brighter side of things for what could be going forward. I really feel like this is a great opportunity for smaller films to shine. Having everything at home kind of like levels the playing field a little bit. So here's an example. There's this great like Western called Badland, which stars Kevin Mackley, he's a friend of mine, and Mira Sorvino and Bruce Dern. And it was this gritty, kind of smaller budget production. But it ended up going to number 3 on Netflix in April of this year. So there is no way that a movie like this could ever compete with, the Disneys or whatever, MGM
or like The Matrix. Yeah, right.
Exactly. Like the marketing budgets of these blockbuster films just bulldoze the competition. But at home, viewers are able to discover it organically.
Yeah.
So I really feel like that is a great thing for, kind of more unique stories or offbeat. Like I just started watching yesterday The Queen's Gambit, because everyone's talking about this, right? So it's about a story about the girl who plays chess, right? And it's a series on Netflix.
Yeah.
So this is a great example of a story that could never really have been in theaters, I don't think, to compete against something like The Avengers. Like,
right.
But on Netflix, it has a chance to shine and become a phenomenon.
Yeah, that's been that's a huge positive. My initial thought, I guess it started with Wonder Woman for me, where they're like, oh, we're gonna see it on Christmas on HBO Max, and I have to admit to being a little conflicted. I got a pretty sweet TV at home, and I can watch it on my couch, and I can eat my own ice cream and pop my own popcorn. But I'm gonna miss that experience, that excitement of getting my friends, meeting my friends at the theater, like waiting in line, and then being immersed in the movie, because the screen's like 80 million feet wide and tall, and my seat is shaking because of the Dolby Cinema sound,
which we all love.
Yeah, and I'm also gonna miss. I remember the last time I stood up and cheered in the theater was in Endgame, when Captain America says the words "Avengers Assemble," and me and my friend John were like standing up and like hitting each other and doing the silent scream, and the whole theater's up in arms and cheering.
It's an experience, right? Like. Especially in Canada here, where we're inside like 7 months of the year because it's so cold. So we need like excuses to leave the house and be social and get out there and do something together. And that's one of the main things that I would go to meet my friends to do. And even with family, we have grandparents who would want to take their kids to a movie. It was in Canada anyway, I don't know about the rest of the the States, but here it was a very social thing to do in the wintertime. In summer too, but we really did love that experience of the Dolby sound and the crazy screens and everything.
Yeah, with
But
that in mind, though, um, before we had kids, before we had responsibilities, I was going every Friday, Saturday, every
well, that's the
weekend,
thing.
right? And
Yeah.
then I even before the pandemic, I couldn't even remember the last movie I went to go see in a theater. So,
Yeah.
um, the convenience factor is going to be nice. I just, I got to admit, yeah, like Star Wars, Wonder Woman, Endgame, those deserve to
Right.
be seen in the theater. And,
Yeah.
definitely The Matrix, any Godzilla movie, you got to go see in a theater. And,
Well,
yeah, but with that also in mind, with everything going on right now, how many people are actually going to go to a theater?
that's the thing, right?
Yeah, I don't. I joke that the only movie that I would risk getting sick for is Ghostbusters Afterlife. Like if they
Yeah.
said, "Hey, we're putting on in theaters tomorrow," I know the numbers are sky high right now, but we're gonna put out. It's only gonna be in theaters tomorrow. Like I would have a ticket, and I'd put on a hazmat suit, I guess, or maybe
Right.
a Ghostbusters jumpsuit, and do
And
it that way. But um, yeah, it's this. Yeah, I'm curious to see the reaction, if
yeah.
there's any fallout, and yeah,
Here's a
it's going to be
question. I have
yes,
a question. So I feel like too, when theaters really bounce back, I'm wondering if it'll be from these 4D theaters that have these like movie experiences going on. They're like theme park rides, right?
yeah,
With motion sensors and lights and all of this, or more of even just like an IMAX experience with the bigger screens and
yeah,
upgrading the seats. Here in Canada, we actually have an 18 plus VIP theater, which isn't too far from me in Oakville. But you can order drinks
yeah,
like alcohol. They
beer,
bring beer, like martinis. They bring it to your seat. I think it's pretty extensive. There's like a whole menu. You can order food, like actual like meals, right?
yeah,
Rum and cokes that I get delivered to me when I'm watching a movie. I mean, yes, I love it. I need someone there to like give me a foot massage at the same time, and I'm in.
right,
Like it's so extreme, and it's like this is an experience. This isn't just going to see a movie. So I remember when I was younger and I lived in Japan, we went to see a movie in theater there, and it was so advanced for what I was used to. The leather seats that were cushiony and like vibrating chairs, and people who came around and served you food to your seat.
yeah,
The Dolby sound was crazy. It was just very ahead of its time.
right.
So I'm wondering if that is going to be something that maybe gets people back into a theater.
Yeah, it's got to be something that you can't get at home,
Yeah,
and that would be one of them. And yeah, they're gonna have to get creative.
get creative.
I mean, why not a foot massage?
Why
Why
not?
not?
Come on.
Right?
I
Why
think
not a
that.
why not a pedicure while you're watching The Matrix 4?
Oh my
Um,
gosh, we're hilarious.
yeah,
No,
why not? So
that's
our friend who watches every stream, Christopher Hewitt down in Florida, asks, "Hey guys, what movie are you looking forward to in 2021?" That's a great question. Could you
oh
pull
yeah.
one out at the top of your head?
Oh my gosh. Well, even all the movies that were like Matrix 4, I'm excited. Even Wonder Woman coming, super excited for that. That's for one I feel like it has been pushed off for so long. The anticipation is just building and building and building.
Right.
And now I'm like, I'm gonna see this thing on like freaking Christmas Day because like it's been so long and I feel like it's a family movie that I
Yeah.
think my kids would really enjoy. So yeah, that's one that I just can't wait to see. I love Gal Gadot too. What about
Yeah.
you? What are you looking forward to, Ming?
So I technically count that as a 2020 movie. And
Okay.
I am looking forward to The Matrix 4, although I'm cautiously optimistic because
Hmm.
the Revolutions and Reloaded were they look great. They just didn't have I mean, and listen, it's tough to match up to The Matrix. I'm looking forward to the Suicide Squad 2 for a couple of reasons.
Hmm.
One, it's a comic book movie, so that's a slam dunk. Two, James Gunn is a genius. We all know that.
Right.
But James Gunn taking a bunch of kind of misfit anti-heroes, I guess, ones that you may or may not know, the general public may or may not know, and throwing them together and giving them and giving them heart and meaning and blowing them up. Like, he's done this already twice, or maybe, and I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do with this squad. The first one, it was watchable. I didn't, it wasn't one I was like, oh, that one, it wasn't one I was like, oh man, that movie was awesome. Like Endgame or Iron Man or name basically any Marvel movie. And so he's kind of got the Marvel playbook, bringing it to DC. Like, I think he's the guy.
Yes, I think he's so talented. And what do you think about the inclusion of John Cena?
Oh, I mean, not only is that a great marketing move. Everyone loves John Cena from 8 months old to 80 years old. But I think I think he's got a good screen presence, and I think he'll do well.
Oh yeah,
I trust. Really I trust James Gunn for sure. You want to hear? I may have told this story, but I'm going to retell it real quick.
Tell me again.
I was in Atlanta last year. I can't remember if it was during Dragon Con or it may have been after. And I was at my favorite bar, this place called the Claremont Lounge, which I want to take you to someday. You would absolutely love it. Very divey. And we're sitting next to this group, and one of the females very attractive, but and we're kind of hanging out with her for an hour or so, and then I leave. Next morning I woke up and I have a text on my phone, and my friend was like, "Hey, you were sitting next to Margot Robbie for like an hour? You didn't even know it?" I'm like,
"What?
Is that who that was?" Yeah, and people are like, "How did you know it wasn't her?" And I was like, "Because she wasn't blonde and like holding a baseball bat, I guess." Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, like I haven't seen Wolf of Wall Street, and I haven't, I haven't seen a lot of stuff that she's been in, to be honest with you. So,
but the thing is, like, a lot of these celebrities don't look the same when they're just out.
But now I look back and I was like, "Oh yeah, that was her. Dang it! Like, why?" Yeah. But so I probably played it the right way. Ming? Where it's like, hey,
she probably went home and said to her friends, "You know what? I was sitting there and didn't realize I was sitting next to Ming Chen the whole night. And Ming Chen right there."
That's entirely possible. Ming Chen from Comic Book Men. So
yes, you never know, right?
Yeah. So I guess we'll see what. So with all this, what shocks me is just put it on HBO Max, which is, I mean, for all intents and purposes, is free. It's $15, and if you haven't signed up now, if you haven't signed up just so you can watch like Deadwood and The Sopranos and Entourage and there's so many great Game of Thrones, and
I just saw The Undoing from HBO Max. It was amazing. I really liked it.
I will put that in my queue, I guess. Is that what you call it on HBO?
Put it in your queue. I know everybody has a list like this.
Yeah.
But it was really good.
That's awesome.
But now is HBO Max? I don't think it's available everywhere. Is it? It's not like overseas.
Oh,
I forget.
Interesting. I guess I take it for granted. I thought it was available everywhere. So
I'm trying to remember if we even get it in Canada. It's on some weird like sub channel thing here, I think.
Right.
It's not as readily available, I think, as in America.
Yeah. Yeah. That being said, though, and I'm wondering how this affects movie budgets or box office. They're not getting the what a movies cost. Let's say $15 a person.
Right.
That adds up. Whereas you can you can have a whole family watching it for $15 a month. I'm wondering, but with it being available at home, do more people consume it then?
Right.
I'm interested.
Actually, talking about that makes me think of like budgets. You just said budgets. Let's use as an example Justice League. It cost something like $250 million and had $150 million marketing budget, right? So basically, it needed to double that just to break even.
Yeah.
So to the break even points for the at $800 million in theaters, and it only made $750 million. So it was labeled a flop, and this is ridiculous. Like, it's good for a handful of maybe blockbusters each year, but what does that leave for everybody else? You can't always make that much money or be that successful with the marketing budgets are just crazy. So I feel like even without COVID, pushing all of the theaters, to this stance, things would have had to change in the next 5 years anyway.
Yeah.
Because it was getting untenable. So, what do you think about that?
I mean, I get, I think there's just progress. I mean, if you can bring a movie to a home market and make
Yes,
it like anything you can, anything, and if you can make it convenient for everyone, you're gonna make, you should make money.
that's
People will,
right.
I think people will pay the most for convenience for sure, and
Yeah.
and in the end, like no one's gonna have to leave their house. So, yeah,
I wonder too about what will this do to home entertainment systems? You think about how everything evolved with these times. So now if you're going to be saying everyone's staying home to watch movies, are we going to get like insane home movie theater systems that you can like, I don't know how they could even make them cooler than they already are.
yeah,
But
I had one, and then I got married and had kids, and it's in
yeah.
storage now. And I was like, man, do I dig out the surround, the 7.1 surround? I don't even know what they are now. I don't. I was like, oh, I don't need
Yeah.
this anymore. But yeah, I imagine much like how you can't buy a webcam right now because everyone's doing this.
Yes.
I imagine the home theater upgrades will become more readily available, and
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I've seen some pretty sweet consumer systems that you
Do you
can
know what I
design at
have that
home.
is absolutely incredible? I should actually send you a video of it. I have these Hue lights. They're called
Oh yeah,
Philips Hue lights,
yeah.
and I forget the name of the system, but you have a Hue box, and the lights sync up to what's going
Wow.
on in the movie, and they project out behind the TV. So if I'm watching like Avengers, then this all has to be with a current movie that's filmed in like 4K and everything.
Right,
But if you sync it, then let's say in Avengers there's a really cool action scene and there's like swords and everything and
right. Things are
like
blowing up. It'll light up.
yes, it'll take the same colors that are on the screen and project them out behind the movie or behind the TV
Yeah,
across your wall or wherever you have the lights pointing. And it is incredible. Like I don't want to ever leave this. This is so good. I was like, this is so good. It's so fun to watch. And I've even got my kids kind of more into watching movies with
yeah.
me there. So I don't
That's
know. I think it's
that's
cool.
amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah. I don't. I mean, I inherited my mother-in-law's TV. It was pretty good. She had bad eyesight, and but yeah, I'm wondering how filmmakers feel about this. Your auteurs who are like, hey, you gotta see this on a 100-foot screen.
Right.
This is how I shot it. Um,
Yep.
yeah, although I don't know. I mean, TVs are pretty high def, 4K, Ultra HD. It's not bad either. So
I
I
think there's going to be an increase in the sales for all that stuff, all the techie
yeah
Sony soundbar and lighting and TVs. I think people are going to get more into it now that they know. Well, I can have this experience at
yeah
home,
for sure.
but like you said, there's nothing that's going to beat the big screen experience for these films that were, most of them were filmed thinking they were going to go on to a big screen.
Yeah. And where am I gonna get movie popcorn and
I
icy and
know.
slushies? I don't have a slushie machine at home. What do I do now?
Oh, I love slushies. I love a good slushie.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
crazy.
in a theater with like the bucket of popcorn that you can put your head into.
Yes.
Yeah,
And you have to pay like, $50 for this
yeah.
thing.
So I guess this means we're all gonna save a ton of money, right?
Yeah, hopefully. But that depends because then it's like maybe people will sign up for way more different streaming
Right.
services and it'll be the same or it'll even out. I don't know.
Yeah, for sure. So, well, I guess this remains to be seen. I mean, I haven't. I think up until now, all the kind of concurrent releases you had to pay for, right? They were,
Right.
um, I think, like Mulan and a couple. There were a couple other movies I can't think of right now where you had to pay whatever, like 19.99 to watch. Um,
Is that so? That's my question for you, Ming. What do you think now will happen? With Disney, are they going to step up their game and follow? Like, how many places are going to follow this HBO Max system and take everything to go into both?
I mean, I think they're gonna have to. If HBO's offering it where you don't have to pay an extra fee,
Hmm.
then there's no way these other services are like, well, listen, you got to pay $9, $10 for this. No one's gonna. They're like, screw it. I'm just gonna watch Wonder Woman on HBO then.
Right.
Yeah. Although, Disney movies are, well, I wanted to say their movies have a lot more, have cachet, they're high
Yeah.
in demand, but so are all these WB movies. These are blockbusters. These are tentpoles. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
But when I remember when Mulan came out and they tried this or a system sort of like this where you had to pay the fee to see it, but you could be at home, right?
mhm.
I was thinking this is the tiny little baby step towards, something bigger.
Yeah.
And it feels like now we're on this precipice of all of the maybe studios doing the same thing.
Right.
We'll see.
Yeah. So,
Crazy.
but what's up, Michael Tagliaferro? All right. It's Italian. It's very Italian.
Italian.
What about collector cups, popcorn containers, like merchandise, ancillary merchandise
Yes,
that you
that's
need
right.
that enhances your at-home experience? That might be
Yes,
where the money is. So that's a good
that's true.
that's a good point, my friend. These people, these companies, we're gonna have to get smart and
Yep.
and get that going. So yeah, for
Hmm.
sure. That's it remains to be seen. But yeah, I mean, I know when I got my Christmas mapped out though. I'm gonna be watching Wonder Woman for sure.
Yes. Oh yeah, me too. I'm
Yeah.
not sure. Christmas Day, maybe the day after. We'll see how busy it gets. But
Oh yeah. Are your Christmases typically hectic and crazy? Even this year?
right. So in Canada, we are trying to limit kind of exterior family gatherings
Okay.
outside of your
Smart.
home.
Smart.
So that's kind of I don't know if it's imposed law or if that's just what they're telling everybody to do, but that's what we are doing here as well. So we have a couple of family members we're going to see, but everyone has decided. We usually have like a massive gathering with like 50 people. We're just not doing that this year. So it's more like a couple of smaller gatherings, just like 5 people or even just one or two,
Yeah.
to keep everything kind of lower. And there's not that many. Like I don't have that much big a family, so maybe like
Right.
three gatherings. But one of them is my mom, and she's by herself, so it's really just having her
Oh
over for
yeah.
dinner. I count that as a gathering, but
Right.
And what about you? Would you do a lot or?
I usually go. We pack in the car the day after Christmas, and we drive over to our in-laws over in Columbus, Ohio, which is a
Oh,
pretty cool
okay,
town. And
right.
we hang out there for I don't know, like 4 or 5 days, and then make the long drive back, which
Oh,
we won't be
right.
doing this year. So I just picked up our tree a couple of days ago. So around here,
Can you get a real tree, Ming?
yes, I got a real tree.
Oh, tell me all about it. Tell me. I
Yeah,
used to,
well,
and I don't anymore, and I miss it.
our tradition here, there's a pizza place, there's a higher end pizza place here where they usually run a special where you can get 2 pizzas, a thing of wine, and a tree for like $50.
What?
Yeah,
That's crazy. That's like
yeah.
giving away trees for free.
I feel the same way. So we've been doing that I think the last 4 years, and so it's become a tradition. And
Amazing.
we had to get the pizzas takeout this time, and they're like,
Hmm.
"Well, we can't give you the wine to take out." So I'm like, "All right,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
that's fair
That's
enough."
smart though.
Yeah, I
And
guess. It's like, can't you like put it in a sippy cup or something, or like a
yeah.
to-go cup? Yeah, they wouldn't do it, and
And
we
like,
do that. So, do you have a Christmas list? Like, what do you want this year, my friend? What do you
yes.
want for
Oh my
Christmas?
gosh.
Blake Northcott.
I I already got my Christmas present this year. I got the new iPhone 12.
I was going to ask you about that.
Yes. So I
I pre
find it's like
I
a good investment for me because I end up doing like pictures and videos for social media
yes.
anyway. So it's kind of a fun talking piece, and I just really like my Apple phone.
I yeah.
So
I think I've been in the Apple cult since literally 1984, and
yes,
yeah, I think if I didn't if I lost my phone or got stolen, or if I was without it for 24 hours, I would think I would die.
yeah.
So um
Oh boy.
so the 12 upgrade, is it worth it?
I would say it is a great, amazing phone. I love it. The cameras are amazing, but I did feel like the upgrade that I had before because I think I went from like an 8 to the 11,
Yeah,
and that was a big jump. Like
big
the
jump.
camera just was crazy, and I got that phone right before I went to New York Comic Con.
Right.
So when I flew down to New York, and I was taking all these incredible pictures on this new phone with like the cameras, the quality was just like I felt like I was filming a movie. Like I remember I went to the New York Public Library for the first time in my life, and it was like this awe-inspiring experience. It's the most beautiful building like I've ever seen, other than the Vatican.
And books.
But
It's full of books.
Books.
We love
I was in
books.
I could not even drag myself away from that place. I remember I was going to meet Sean Gordon Murphy and you over at the center, you know, and I'm like, I could spend a week in this library. Like, it's crazy. And plus, Ghostbusters was filmed there. So I was all like, the lions. Like, I was just, you know, I was crazy. But taking those videos on the phone, I really noticed that the difference.
Yeah.
But what do you think? Are you blown away by the cameras, or?
I don't have a 12 yet. I have one coming. I have to wait till the end of the month. They're in high demand down here.
Right.
But yes, me and you both, we take a lot of selfies. Listen, we have to market ourselves, my friends. This is how this is how we stay relevant, I guess, and keep people updated on what we're up to. And so a good camera, either the selfie one or whatever, it's essential to people like us. And you know, and I don't want to brag, but we're both rather attractive, so you know, we have to reflect that. And yeah, I'm looking forward. I have a 10R, I believe, so I'm looking forward to the cameras for sure.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, and I appreciate you've been sending me selfies already. I was like, wow, all right, this is
do you notice a difference? I don't know. I was like sending you. I was like, should I post this? Does this look good enough? And
you don't need my approval, my friend.
You're a good judge, Ming. I feel like I get a good.
I would like to think so. For sure. Yeah, I would like to think so. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. But speaking of books, at the top of my list is I would like, and I've been holding off on this, but I would like a copy of Ernest Cline's Ready Player 2.
Oh, yeah.
In hardcover right now, and somebody just commented on it. Vivara Santes, one of our frequent commenters and viewers. Thank you, Vivar. You guys read Ready Player 2, which I have not. I guess, and then I don't even. I guess there's a cameo by Jason Mewes and a shout out to Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. So I guess this one references the early 2000s, I guess.
Oh, wow.
Vivar is not a fan of this book, though. Said it was garbage.
Oh,
so
wow.
Okay.
I have it, but I haven't read it yet, so I don't know.
I love the first one. The first one changed my life for sure. Mm-hmm. And you know, listen, I'm a sucker for 80s anything, and the fact that Ernest Cline was able to pack this many references and make it this fun, I was hooked since page one. Real quick, I tried to get him on Comic Book Men.
Did you?
I hit him up. I hit him up on Twitter. I was just to say hello. I was like, hey, maybe he'll answer back, and he did. I was like, all right, he's a Kevin Smith fan, clearly, because he referenced him in Ready Player One. So I was like, hey, maybe he watches Comic Book Men, and he did. So, you know, we started talking. I was trying to podcast with him. I was in his hometown of Austin, Texas a few years ago. And I'm like, hey, man, I don't know if you're around, but like I'm going to his place for dinner. Like if you want to come, or maybe do you have like a half hour? I'd love to podcast with you. And he was busy, but he was like, hey, you know, one day I'll take you up on that. But a year later, he was like, hey, I'm getting married up in Jersey. I brought my DeLorean. He has a DeLorean Ecto 1 hybrid.
What? No.
He calls it the Ecto 88. And I guess he had it shipped up for his wedding up in our area. And he was like, hey, I'm going to have to put it in storage up here. But, you know, maybe if you want, you can incorporate it in your next season. And I'm like, listen, I love the car, but I want you to come on. And I tried my best, but it didn't.
He wouldn't go.
No, he told. I bet he totally would have done it. But I think our producers plus the other three guys were not as forward thinking as I was, because they were like, "Who's this Ernest Cline guy?" I'm like, "Dude, Spielberg. He's got a movie coming out. Right? You haven't read Ready Player One? You guys are jerks." And I could not convince them to do it. And I'm like, man, that would have that's the one thing I wanted, I think.
Yeah, and, Ernest Cline, we are inviting you onto the We're Not Even Supposed to.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Today. Yeah.
We would both love to hear about anything you want to talk about.
Yeah, for sure. So I haven't met him in person, but man, am I dying to. I think I think his imagination and
Yeah.
I like his writing style.
Yeah.
A lot of people are like, oh man, some people are like, oh, all right, he's, maybe they have some opinions on his writing. I couldn't stop reading, and to
It
me,
was a
that's
fun, yeah, throwback. The thing too is that there's different types of books for everybody, and some people really are excited to get into the nostalgia of it all
yeah,
and to have these throwback references. It makes them feel a certain way, but when they're growing up, and it's a fun, exciting adventure. And it depends on what you're looking for, maybe in the book. And some people also maybe don't like the throwback. They're like, oh, it takes me out of
yeah.
the story. So everyone kind of has their own opinion about that. But I do have the book and I am going to read it and I'm going to decide for myself what I think about it. But I was like you, I loved the first one.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, like I don't read a lot these days. I just don't have time to dedicate.
Yeah,
Um,
takes time.
so if there's a book, it's got to be, it's got to be like, oh, it's got to be so good that I'm like, oh man,
It's got to be something written by Blake.
yes,
Then you'll read it.
that's a definite for sure. So that's a
I'm just
definite
teasing
for
you, my
sure.
friend.
So that no, you shouldn't be. You shouldn't be teasing for sure. So yeah, and so that's at the top of my list. Everything else is,
Yeah.
if you buy me coffee or alcohol, like we're square.
Yeah.
But I did want to show you this. I picked this up.
Oh
Speaking of
wow.
Ghostbusters, this is the
Oh
Egon's Neutrino wand that
wow.
Hasbro Pulse put out. It came out a couple months ago. See if I can get
That
the
is
whole thing in
cool.
here. But they got it spot on the look. But my favorite part is it's got sound effects. So
I was gonna say, okay, does it make the noise like the when you like load it
um,
up noise?
well, so it has the startup sound. So and then
Oh, that's
this,
pretty good.
then this,
Oh, that's the
and
sound. That's it.
and then of course yeah, they got this thing spot on.
Oh,
So
that
and
that was good.
yeah, I mean, I probably should have put this on my Christmas list, but I just couldn't. I couldn't wait.
So, what else is on your Christmas list, Ming?
I think coffee and alcohol were definitely on there.
Mm-hmm.
Good bourbon, good coffee, and I think that's all I. Oh, and yeah, and K cups for a Keurig coffee machine.
Coffee,
Yeah, other than that, I haven't gotten that far. But I mean, I would love a PlayStation 5, but they're impossible to get. So
right?
yeah,
PlayStation 5 is up there with everyone.
yeah, for sure. Oh, and the Sideshow Collectibles Baby Yoda, that's on there too. But
Oh yes, all the Baby Yoda merch is out. Oh, now I guess I'm still calling him Baby Yoda, the
oh,
child.
so is everybody else. So is everybody else.
But
Um,
yeah, I'm loving the Mandalorian too. It's so good.
Somebody was like, "Hey, what do you think of the season so far?" I'm like, "This is the best thing since Empire Strikes Back came out in 1980." Like,
Yeah,
I can say that without hesitation, with all confidence.
yeah,
Yeah, just when you don't think they can top an episode, they do, and it's insane. The last episode, I'm not going to spoil it. Shockingly, a lot
yeah.
of people have not seen it yet,
I
but
know.
it was directed by Robert Rodriguez. It's written by John
Hmm.
Favreau, and the director of photography was a friend of ours named Dave Klein, who was Kevin's director of photography for his
Oh
first like
wow.
4 or 5 movies. So he started in a dinky convenience store about 10 miles from here in New Jersey, and now he's shooting The Mandalorian. But my point is, they're taking all these guys who cut their teeth in independent film, and like look at where they are now. So
Right.
with that in mind, I'm secretly, or maybe not so secretly, hoping that season 3 that at the end we see directed by Kevin Smith. I think that would be cool.
Yeah. That'd be really cool.
Yeah.
Or even, do you think they're going to have? Somebody's asking me. They said, "Do you think they're ever going to get George Lucas back too?" Because he's apparently been on set. There's pictures of him there, and I'm like, "Do you think he'd ever actually like direct an episode?"
Why not, right? Why
That'd
not?
be cool.
Yeah, I think if there's ever an episode that maybe calls back some of the older characters,
Hmm.
and there are a lot in that timeline, there are a lot of them still
Right.
around where he could kind of revisit. That would be cool. Not only that, if it turns out to be awesome, which I have no doubt it will be, it'll give him a little redemption. I feel.
Right.
Which, what are the Star Wars movies about if nothing but redemption? Right. Like every storyline ends in some
Yes.
kind of redemption. So let's take it to the real world, my friends, and
Yes.
let old George redeem himself in
I
real
was
life
thinking
too.
about how weird it must be for him, like as a creator of this whole universe, to, put everything out there and then kind of step away from it and then see this resurgence come back and to like not be a part of it kind of anymore, not in the way he was. Like
I
it must
can't.
be so difficult.
I can't even imagine something that you literally you birthed, and
Yeah.
then you you give it to somebody, you sell it for
Yes.
$4 billion, give it to somebody else. I mean, I imagine much like us, we're big nerds, like much like us. I'm sure he's sitting secretly at home going, "Oh man, I wouldn't have done it that way." Like why,
Exactly.
like, or
Exactly.
standing up and pulling his hair out, and like why would you do this? Why? Yeah.
Or maybe he's doing the other way and he's like, this was awesome. I love that. Or I love this or whatever.
I mean,
But
I have no doubt that he loves the Mandalorian. It's bring back
yeah,
characters that he co-created, Ahsoka Tano,
right.
and I think, to me, it feels like such a throwback to the originals too. Like just
Exactly.
the tone and the pacing and the characters.
And that's what everybody loves about it too.
Yeah, but I can't imagine creating an entire property and then having somebody else screw it up, I guess
Yeah.
are the words I'm saying. Which
Right.
you can throw your own opinion in, but yeah, if a lot of it has been like, oh man,
Yeah. But that was
that's not so
interesting to
good.
see. I did see a picture of him on set and I was
Yeah,
like blown away. Like, wow, he's actually going to the sets. They're inviting him back into this world to kind of be a part of and discuss. There was pictures of him like talking about what was going on, with Jon Favreau on the
yeah,
side and everything. And I was like, wow, that blows my mind a little bit that it's good, I think, too, in a way, because it's getting the directors really respect that core creative element, and they want to make sure that the appropriate, due diligence is given to the person who created the whole thing. They're respecting his, creation.
yeah. To me, he's still like a god. Like
Yeah.
I would love to meet him. When I was living in Washington D.C., he did a Q&A that I got to go to,
Oh.
which was cool. The company I was working for, they're like they knew I liked Star Wars because had a whole stormtrooper army on my desk at work.
Right.
Got a lot of funny looks because this was the late '90s, so people didn't get it like we do now. But
Right.
they're like, "Oh, you're going to go see George Lucas? Oh, cool. Yeah, we'll give you the day off to go do that." I'm like, "Oh, that was nice."
Nice.
And it was cool. Like when he walked in, you felt this energy and everybody, standing ovation. I was like, "Whoa, this is awesome!" Like, George Lucas is right there. So
I
I
love
thought
it.
that
Now
was
I
cool.
know the other thing is I know you told me you have a good relationship sort of with Ming Na. When Ming Na came out, I was like blown away. I literally Googled how old is this girl
Oh
because
my god,
holy crap, like she was kicking ass. I was like, I want to be Ming Na when I am, how old is she? I forget,
uh,
53 or something?
56,
50.
I believe. I believe she's actually
What the?
56.
What
Yeah,
is she doing? Like she looks
she
amazing. I
does.
love her. I love her.
She does. Totally
I,
in love with her. Totally.
yes, she's incredible. Like she
She
kicks
really is.
ass, all kinds of ass.
Yeah, and I knew like it wasn't gonna just be one episode with her. Like
Yeah,
you can't. Yeah,
she's too good. You can't. You have to sprinkle her out throughout the series. Come on, we need more. I need more of
yeah,
that.
yeah, for sure. So listen, if you haven't been watching, maybe you're not caught up. This is us telling you. This is us telling you to catch up. To
Yeah, the
jump on the Millennium Falcon and take the trip with us to.
I'm such a dork. I actually like I went to Galaxy's Edge last year, and now when I say last year, it feels like 10 years ago. When
Right.
we're talking about COVID time, but it was right before the COVID whole thing exploded. I was in Disney actually with my family, and we went for the first time. I took the kids to Galaxy's Edge, and I saw the huge Millennium Falcon and everything, and it still blows me away. Like I really loved it. It felt like you were there on a set. It's like that set feeling, like you're in the movie,
Right.
right?
And as they said in Jurassic Park, it appears they spared no expense on this amazing place.
It's right. It's it feels authentic when you're there. They had stormtroopers walking around, like issuing orders. Like my son was like freaked out because the guys were shooting out like real kind of barking orders at people. And he was like, like these feel like real stormtroopers. So it was great. So much fun.
Leave it up to Disney to create an immersive experience. And it's it's I believe this purchase of the Star Wars franchise has worked out for all parties, but including us fans though. We're the
Well, I was comparing it to the Harry Potter universe because I had just gone the year before to Universal, to the Harry Potter Wizarding World.
Yeah.
And that is also extremely detailed, so much fun. I'm a kind of a Harry Potter nut too, and so are my kids. So we had a great time there. Like all this stuff. It's so much fun. I wish I was a kid now because I think of how much cool stuff our kids get to see now versus like we never had this.
Kids are so lucky. Kids are so spoiled. Yeah, they get everything handed to them. I'm like, I was digging Death Star trenches in my backyard, and I didn't have a lightsaber. I had a tube of gift wrapped. That was my lightsaber. So yeah. Now I just sound like an old. I sound like an old man now, though.
No, not at all. But the same thing. I guess the good thing was our imaginations got to take over, right? So now they have all these amazing experiences. But
yeah,
it's incredible.
For sure. Yeah, and that propelled us to why we do what we do. I believe. So
yes,
we had to make it up here. So.
So true.
Yeah, that's amazing. Awesome.
Well, awesome. So much fun. Well, yes. Christmas time is coming up. So yeah, I'm very excited for that.
I appreciate the red sweater.
Yes, I decided to get a little festive. I'm like, I'm going to get on my Christmassy. You can see, this side here. My little Santa is all there lit up. You can't see my Christmas trees here, but I have one next to me that's just for Disney ornaments. And then I have a bigger one in the other room that's the regular tree.
You have 2 trees?
I have 2 trees this year.
Okay,
but just to be fair, the other tree I had for 12 years, and it's not a real tree, obviously. So the branches were like falling off, and I was like, okay, it's time to get a new tree. So we needed the new one in the other room.
Right, but you were like, it's time to get a new tree, but we're keeping the old one. Okay.
No, I didn't keep the old one.
Okay.
Got rid of that, but I got a little one here next to me. It's 4 feet. It's a tiny kind of little, but I only put
Disney.
I decided this is our Disney tree with Disney ornaments.
Okay. Right on.
A little crazy.
Yeah. Do you have any geek ornaments on the other one?
The other one is more like family item, like family heirlooms, and this is something that we did with my kids. Is every year, since they were like little and they could paint, we would make Christmas ornaments together. So I have they've really kind of sad, some of them where they were like 3 years old, but some of them are really beautiful, and we've decorated them all together. So that tree is more like the family tree with all of our traditional things, and yeah.
That's awesome. I have a bunch of like Simpsons ornaments and.
Oh yeah.
I'm trying to remember. I don't think I have any Star Wars ornaments. Like I would love to put a big Death Star at the top, but
that would be cool. A Star Wars tree. You could have
a whole Star Wars
tree. Maybe that's next year.
Yeah, I'll do that for I'll do that for Life Day, I guess. And,
yeah. You can go nuts. I mean, there's so many cool decorations and stuff there to get.
Yeah.
It's fun decorating. And I feel like I read an article that actually said people who decorate earlier for the holidays are happier this year because we're all inside so much.
Right.
It's something to do. It's kind of makes you feel good when you see the decorations around. And so I'm the kind of person, like 2 days after, basically here in Canada, after we've Halloween, I'm like, November 1st, a tree goes up. It's really early. Because we don't have Thanksgiving then, right? Ours is in October. So.
Right. Yeah. But that's awesome. Well, before I go, I'm going to need to get your address because I have presents for you.
Oh, my goodness.
These are the Shared Universe pins. This is the Bat Mic version.
I love it.
It's a set of 4. So, of course, there's our logo.
Right. Love it.
And then I had to get a glitter version. So this is
glitter is it.
Glitter right there. And then of course, I had to rip off our Comic Book Man logo.
So it's so good.
I will send these up to you. Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
Anybody else, you got to buy them, but they're $20 shipped off our website at ashareduniverse.com. I'll get those out to you.
Incredible.
I'll ship those across the border for you though.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I
Of
appreciate that.
course.
Those are awesome. I have a backpack with all my pins on it, so I'm
Oh,
going to add it
perfect. Okay.
there.
All right, cool. And then yeah, I want to see all
Awesome.
the other pins at a con or something.
Yeah, yeah. The next time we go to a con, we will be definitely hanging out. So
I
we'll do
can't
that. Can't
can't
wait.
I can't wait. I'm about done
I
with this
know.
virus
I
thing.
know. I know. Me too.
Unfortunately, I mean, we're doing what we can. We're apart. We're yeah, but yeah, soon, my friend, soon,
We're doing what we can, right?
soon. Awesome. And
Awesome.
yeah,
All
I
right.
imagine we'll be hopping online before the holidays. We'll see if we can get one more
Yes.
in for sure.
That would be awesome. Let's do
Um,
it.
yeah, but I hope you stay safe and sound, my friend.
Thank you. You too.
Happy writing, happy reading, happy watching,
That's right.
and yeah, thanks for jumping on with me. And thank
Of
you, but
course.
most importantly, thank you to everybody watching. We really
Yes.
appreciate it. This is, we're just kind of doing this for fun, but this is keeping us sane and connected. So
That's right. And I
sure.
appreciate all the support from all the fans. And anyone has questions, send them over. And maybe next time it'll be more like a Q&A. We'll answer some more
Yeah,
questions.
where and I need to put that at the bottom here. I was like, I'm missing. This is very blank down here. I'll put our social media stuff at the bottom next
Oh,
time.
yeah, sure.
Where can
This looks
everybody?
awesome.
Where can everyone find you?
I'm on Facebook. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram. I have my YouTube channel. And sometimes I'm also an imager.
Ooh, okay. Just look up
Yes.
Blake Northcott.
Blake
And,
Northcott. Yep.
yeah, and I'm all over as well. You'll
You're everywhere. Yes.
find me. So awesome! Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Okay. No problem. Thank you, Ming.
See you soon.